Okay, so 5.9 notes. This is the last new thing of chapter 5. This is also the last new thing of the quarter, I think. Is the quarter over at spring break? I think it is. Okay. Anywho, today's lessons are combining together two lessons we've already done. 5.6 and 5.8. Today we are factoring quadratic trinomials with a leading coefficient. So that means the number at the very beginning greater than 1. So we already factored, if it says x squared minus 2x minus 3, that's what we did in 5.6. We're adding on that extra number in the front. And adding on that extra number makes it so that we have to do both what we did in 5.6 and what we did on Tuesday in 5.8, which is why I made you guys get your 5.8s done in class, so we would be ready for this. So it's a 4-step process. We're going to walk you through the process, and we will also help you through your assignment. If you are willing to turn your brains on right now and try, I promise you can do this. First thing that you are going to do is you are going to multiply a and c from ax squared plus bx plus c. So a, b, and c are numbers, are letters that represent numbers. So if we come down here to our first example, grab one of those. A is 5. So a equals 5. B equals -2. And c equals -3. Are we all on board with where I got A, B, and C from? C. C as in yes? Okay. Okay. So that's step 1. Or, well, step 1's trying to find. Step 1 is to multiply A and C together. So I am going to multiply A times C, which is 5 times -3. And I'm going to put that over here. A times C equals 5 times -3. That's -15. Then, any questions about that? Okay, step 2 is to find two numbers now that multiply together to be AC and add together to be B. So in 5.6, we found two numbers that multiply to C, add to B, multiply the last, add to the middle. So now we're just adding in that A. So multiply to AC, add to B. So this we are calling our magic X. I am going to use this to organize what I am trying to do. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to put my magic X. And the top of my magic X, I want to put what I want to multiply to. So I'm going to write down that I want to multiply to -15. And in the bottom of my magic X, I put what I want to add to, which is that I want to add to be my B value, which is -2. Okay, you can list out factors like we did back in 5.6, or you don't have to if you don't want to. What two numbers multiply together to be 15 and are 2 apart from each other? 3 and 5. Awesome. Then I also put our table back on here. If I need to add together to be a negative number and multiply together to be a negative number, I need to make my bigger number negative. So I'm going to leave the 3 positive and make the 5 negative. So our magic X, we fill it in on the sides there with the two numbers that do what I need, which is multiply to -15 and add to -2. Okay, so that so far is step 1 and 2. Any questions about either of those steps? Okay, step 3 is to split up our middle term. So right here, I've got 5x squared minus 2x. We're going to split up this minus 2x using these two numbers we just found. So this we have to kind of strategically do so that we can then use factor by grouping. So my 5x squared stays the exact same. And then instead of minus 2x, I'm going to have plus 3x minus 5x. And then I still have my minus 3. So 5x squared stays the same, minus 3 stays the same. I'm splitting up those other ones. Go, turn off. All right. What I have just done is I have uncombined like terms. If I were to recombine these, 3x minus 5x, I get negative 2x. So I've not changed the value of anything. I just strategically have uncombined like terms. The reason why I do that is so that I can now do step number 4, which is to factor by grouping, which is what we did on Tuesday. So now that I've got 4 terms, I can factor by grouping because this polynomial isn't factorable by anything other than grouping. So 5x squared and 3x. From those, I cannot pull out any numbers. I can pull out an x. And on this one, I can only pull out an x. I can't pull out an x squared because my second one only has an x. If I pull out an x, that'll leave behind 5x. 3x, pull out the x, it'll leave behind 3. Then from negative 5x and negative 3, I can't divide anything out, but I know I want them to both be positive, so I'm going to divide out a negative 1. Negative 1. So negative 5x divided by negative 1 is positive 5x. Negative 3 divided by negative 1 is positive 3. This is the last piece of this unit. So does it make sense that this is the hardest one? Yes. Go, 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 go. Okay, so then from here, see how these guys match? Okay, so that's going to come out first, 5x plus 3. And then my other piece is my GCF, which is x, and my other GCF, which is negative 1. So x minus 1. Okay, any questions on that one? All right, flip this over then. We've got 2 more on the back. We've got 3x squared minus 10x plus 8 next. So the first thing that I'm going to do is identify my A, B, and C. So A is 3, B is negative 10, C is 8. Then step 1 tells me to multiply together A and C. So what is my A value? And my C value is 8. So A times C is 3 times 8, which is 24. So I'm going to make my magic X. I'm going to put in the top of my magic X that I need to be able to multiply to 24. And then in the bottom of my magic X, I need to add to negative 10 because that's my B value. So add to negative 10. Okay, numbers that multiply together to be 24 and add together to be negative 10.
6 and 4.
So close, so close.
2 and 12.
No, that's 14. So 6 and 4 both add together to be positive, or 6 and 4 and 6. I heard two people say that. That adds together to be positive 10. How in the world can I add together to be negative 10?
Make them both negative.
Make them both negative. So negative 4 and negative 6 is what I'm going to do. And I'm actually on this one, I'm going to do negative 6 and then negative 4. Doesn't matter which order you do them in, but I want to do it this way. So if we need to multiply to be positive and add to be negative, we pick both negatives. Your table from 5.6, it's on the front of your notes if you need to use it. Okay, so that's step 2, is to find those two numbers. Step 3 is to split your middle term. So 3x squared stays the same. My negative 10x is going to split into negative 6x and negative 4x. If I were to recombine those, they would just combine back to negative 10x. And then my 8 stays the same as well. Okay. And then from there, we can combine like terms. Factor by grouping. We just uncombine like terms. We don't want to recombine them. So 3x squared and 6x. What can I divide 3 and 6 both by? 3. And I can also pull out an x. So I can pull out a 3x. 3x squared divided by 3x. We'll just leave behind an x. Negative 6x divided by 3x. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. And then the x divides out. Oh, I forgot a plus sign right here. From negative 4 and 8, what can I divide 4 and 8 both by? 4. And anytime my third GCF, this middle sign right here, is negative, I want to divide out a negative. So I'm going to divide negative 4 from these last two. So negative 4x divided by negative 4 leaves behind a positive x. 8 divided by negative 4 leaves behind a negative 2. Okay, then x minus 2 and x minus 2 match. So they'll go first. 3x and negative 4 will be my second pair. Or my second binomial, I mean. All right. Any questions? Okay, we've got one more, and this last one is all positive, which means it's going to be smooth sailing. So 2x squared plus 11x plus 5. What is my A value? Okay, somebody else, what's my B value? Okay, and one more person, what's my C value? Thank you. Okay, so first thing, we multiply A and C together. So A times C is 2 times 5, which is 10. Okay. I need to multiply to AC, so that means I need to multiply to 10. I need to add together to be B, so that means I need to add to 11. What numbers what numbers multiply together to be 10 and add together to be 11? 1 and 10 or 10 and 1? And again, you can do it in either order. I'm doing 1 and 10. Okay. So, 2x squared stays by itself. My 11x is going to split up. Instead of 11x, it's now plus 1x plus 10x. And then I have 5. So what we're doing is we are intentionally uncombining like terms to make factoring possible on these. Okay, and then I factor by grouping. So we've got 2x squared and 1x. Out of those, I can only divide an x out. So I'm going to divide out an x. I'll leave behind 2x plus 1. And then out of 10x plus 5, excuse me, I can divide out a 5. And that'll leave 2x. 10x divided by 5 is 2. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So 2x plus 1 again. Which is good. Because these guys match. So it goes first. And then my GCF and my other GCF go second. Okay. Questions right now for the good of the cause. Mrs. Garrett, you just did the assignment. We have 28 minutes left. Do you think they can get 6 of them done in 28 minutes? That seem reasonable? Okay. There are 8. Are there 8 problems or 6 problems? 8. Yeah, okay. So there are 8 problems on your assignment, and then there's a little matching section at the end. You only have to do 6 of them, plus the matching. You do have to do the little matching part at the end. It's just like which factory does which, okay? So if you're listening right now and heard that, that's less work that you have to do. If you're not listening and you didn't hear that, oops. So you only have to do 6 of the 8 problems.